is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 5. Coverage you can count on.
Now at 5. World health leaders say COVID-19 has officially reached pandemic levels. Meanwhile, Florida colleges are shifting in-person classes to online. And even Orlando theaters are changing how they interact with ticket holders.
We've got to assume that it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
In the last hour, the White House announced President Donald Trump plans to deliver a primetime address tonight on the federal response to the coronavirus. Good evening, I'm Greg Warman.
I'm Martha Sagowski. One of the biggest takeaways from today was the decision from the WHO to increase COVID-19 from outbreak to pandemic. So what does this term really mean? Well, the World Health Organization defines a pandemic as a disease that has become widespread around the world, spreads person to person. And today we learned there are more than 118,000 COVID-19 cases in 114 countries. The term pandemic has only been used a few times throughout history. The last time we saw a pandemic was 11 years ago with H1N1. Channel 9's Lauren Seabrook just stepped outside from listening to the governor speak. She's joining us live here in the studio. Lauren, what is the status at the 5 o'clock hour?
Well, Martha, we currently have 23 cases here in Florida, and of those, 5 are not travel related. 2, of course, are here in Central Florida in Volusia County. Governor Ron DeSantis has been holding press conferences almost daily, and in just the last half hour, he said 353 people are currently being monitored for COVID-19. 12 counties in our state now have at least 1 case, and we're now learning 10 of the infected people in our state were on a Nile River cruise in Egypt during either February or March. 5 of the new 8 cases just announced last night were on one of those Nile cruises. One of the 2 people who died in our state was also on a Nile River cruise. The governor also announced new measures to keep our elderly population safe. He's mandating all nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and other elderly communities prohibit all visitation from people with COVID-19, anyone showing signs of respiratory illness, anyone who's traveled internationally, anyone who's come in contact with someone who tested positive, anyone who's recently traveled on any cruise, and anyone who lives in or has been in a community with a positive case.
These are important efforts to mitigate the risk to our most vulnerable population to COVID-19, which is our elderly population, and particularly those who have serious underlying medical conditions.
Increasing information is coming out showing that this is more severe than the flu, particularly for the elderly population, where the mortality rate can be 20 to 40 times more than with the flu.
And the governor also said the University of Florida is currently developing a test to enhance our state's ability to get people tested. He says right now the state has 2 main strategies: containment and mitigation. Greg.
All right, Lauren, we'll check back in. We're also following more breaking coronavirus news. In just the last 30 minutes, this is a bombshell. The NCAA announced fans will not be allowed at the men's or women's NCAA basketball tournament. You know, it's known as March Madness. Channel 9 sports anchor Christian Brewy is here now with the latest. Christian, this is a big blow for fans and shows you the seriousness of this.
Oh, no doubt, Greg. March Madness is the most popular tournament that the NCAA puts on every year. The total attendance for last year's event was nearly 700,000. But within the last hour, NCAA President Mark Emmert announced only essential staff and select family members will be allowed to attend this year's men's basketball tournament, which kicks off next week. The NCAA set up a coronavirus advisory council last week, and they are the ones who made this recommendation to the NCAA president. Here's the full statement from Mark Emmert. I won't read it all. It reads in part, "While I understand how disappointing this is for all fans of our sports, my decision is based on the current understanding of how COVID-19 is progressing in the United States. This decision is in the best interest of public health, including that of coaches, administrators, fans, and most importantly, our student athletes." And we're also seeing this at the professional level now. The NBA's Golden State Warriors announced today they're going to play in front of an empty arena tomorrow night against the Brooklyn Nets. Their game will be the first professional sporting event in the U.S. played with no fans due to the coronavirus. Greg?
All right, Christian, we'll find out what the Magic are going to do, and we'll check on that as well. In the midst of the pandemic concern, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders says he is not stepping away from the race. After a bad night and a huge loss in Michigan, Sanders said today he is still winning with young voters, and although he is losing the delegate count, he's going to hang in there. Channel 9 Shannon Butler is live in studio with us with a look at what could happen ahead of Tuesday's primary here. And Shannon, the current state of emergency allows the governor to suspend or delay an election if he needs to.
Well, it does, and we asked the governor's office today if he would consider either, but there was no response. Now, if Senator Bernie Sanders had dropped out of the race today and former Vice President Joe Biden was the likely Democratic nominee, it would be easier to make a call like that. But with two people still in the race ahead of Tuesday's primary, it's tough not to let the voters speak. But the coronavirus pandemic is changing day by day. Some said Michigan was the make-or-break state for Bernie Sanders, but apparently nobody informed him. After a bad night in several states, he's staying in the presidential race.
Donald Trump must be defeated, and I will do everything in my power to make that happen. On Sunday night, in the first one-on-one debate of this campaign, the American people will have the opportunity to see which candidate is best positioned to accomplish that goal.
Sanders has a challenge ahead of him, especially since the polls have him losing in Florida next week and in Georgia after that. And it's still unclear what effect the coronavirus will have on people coming out to the polls in the coming weeks. But if he decides to go before the Tuesday Florida primary and clears the way for Biden to be the nominee, the governor could do something to keep people away from the crowds at the polls. The state statute says the governor may, upon issuance of an executive order declaring the state of emergency or impending emergency, suspend or delay any election. It's happened before. In 1992, Miami-Dade County was granted permission by the Supreme Court of Florida to postpone elections for a week during Hurricane Andrew. Elections were also interrupted for Hurricane Katrina in 2005. But if we do get through this election, states, including Florida, will have to look at what to do for the next election if the coronavirus continues to spread. Today, the League of Women Voters asked the supervisors all across the state to make sure that they have that hand sanitizers in the polls and make sure that all the screens are wiped down so that democratic process isn't disrupted. They worry, though, that this could be an issue in the August primaries and in the November general election. Can you imagine? They really want these supervisors to be prepared for the future. The league encouraging everyone to early vote so you can avoid all those crowds. Martha.
All right, Shannon, thanks. Well, the stock market had another horrible day as fear over the coronavirus continues to rattle investors. Wall Street fell 5% and the Dow dropped another 1,400 points during a House oversight hearing today in Washington. Health officials say the situation in the U.S. will get worse before it gets better, and now is the time to act.
We must be much more serious as a country about what we might expect. We cannot look at it and say, well, there are only a couple of cases here, that's good, because a couple of cases today are going to be many, many cases tomorrow.
Meanwhile, cases in two hard-hit areas, New York and Washington state, are increasing. Many areas are banning public events like concerts, sporting events, and classes.
Concerns over coronavirus were raised during this morning's annual Disney shareholders meeting as well. Chairman Bob Iger admitted the outbreak has been challenging for the company. Disney, of course, has temporarily closed its parks in Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Tokyo over fears of COVID-19. Parts of Shanghai Disney reopened this week, but the other Asian parks will likely stay closed for several more weeks. The company warned investors profits in China could drop by $280 million this quarter alone.
The Florida University system is also moving to protect students and faculty by moving classes online. UCF, which is on spring break, will partially go online next Monday and have all classes online by a week from today. Florida State will shift to online courses March 23rd for at least 2 weeks. UCF dorms will remain open for students who don't have another place to live, but some campus services won't be available during that time. Well, two local theaters told Channel 9 they're also taking precautions. Channel 9's Ashley Edlin is live outside the Orlando Theater where they are doing precautions right now. Ashley.
These guys are doing what so many of us are doing, Martha, using hand sanitizer and wiping down every surface that they see. But now they say they're taking it a step further this weekend to protect their performers.
If you've ever seen a show at the Orlando Repertory Theater, you know a big part of it is meeting the stars after the performance.
They do autographs and take pictures with the kids.
But Executive Director Chris Brown says starting this weekend, that's going to change.
The cast will be on stage and you'll stand in front of the stage and you can get pictures that way. So there's as little interaction with touching and hugging as possible.
Brown says it's one of the ways they're trying to keep performers safe as COVID-19 continues to spread.
We have plenty of emphasis on washing your hands and staying clean. There's extra soap and all of that kind of normal stuff. Doorknobs, handrails, all that kind of stuff is being cleaned nightly.
Theater South Playhouse on Della Drive says they're doing as much as they can too, and they're starting right as people walk in the doors.
We have the spray, we have the gel.
Executive Director Hillary Brooks says it's not that simple though. As a small theater, if things don't turn around, they're going to have to make some tough decisions.
We do have this big show coming up. The show runs for 2 weeks. We are taking every measure we can to try to keep our programs running. However, when it comes down to it, people's safety is first.
Now, the theater here says they are planning on sending out messages to people here to alert them of the upcoming change this weekend. Meanwhile, both theaters we spoke to today say they are keeping up with the latest information from the health department and the CDC. Live in Orlando, Ashley Edlin, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
All right, Ashley, thank you. And we've set up a group on our Facebook page called Coronavirus Fact or Fiction. It's a space where you can discuss the response to the pandemic with others all across Central Florida.